All right, happy Monday, Inspire Beauty. I feel like it's been forever since I've given you guys a Zoom, but I feel like maybe it's only been 2 weeks. I don't know, but it feels good to be back nonetheless. I almost clicked stop video on myself. I hope that, okay, good. I literally have my hand like clicking it. Okay, what I wanted to click was share screen. I'm gonna share the screen. We've got slides tonight, and we're talking all about creating a routine, and I kind of wish I would have titled it Cultivating a Routine, because I don't just want you guys to create a routine out of thin air that you're not going to be able to adjust and adapt and mold and shape and, you know, all the good things that happen when we are living life and having to bounce and roll with the punches, right? So I want us to really think about cultivating a routine that not only can be a habit for us, but also can be something that will allow us to change as we change and adapt as we adapt. So we're creating routine tonight. It's back to school time. We're back into the fall season pretty soon here. I don't know about you guys. I'm a big pumpkin spice person. Sorry, that's like, I'm sorry. That's just me. Some people are like so anti-pumpkin spice. I'm not. I actually, in my planner, nut pods. If you don't know about nut pods, they're amazing. They're like a dairy-free creamer for your coffee. Super amazing. You could only used to buy, I have great speech tonight. You used to only be able to buy them on Amazon, but now they're starting to put them in stores. But the pumpkin spice one comes out next Tuesday, and I even put it in my planner so I don't forget, because hello, I want to get them before they run out. But anyway, pumpkin spice and everything nice is coming upon us very soon. And with that, I feel like also comes a great opportunity to cultivate and create routine in our lives. So tonight, I want to create you guys have to forgive me. I literally can't talk today. I am Joel. I am having a hard time with words. I am going to talk tonight about making your routine a priority, making your business a priority. It can be very easy to look at Brittany's journey right now and see that I do this full time and I don't have children just yet in my life, weighing me down, and see that oh, Brittany can do this because X, Y, and Z. But what I want to remind you is that I started this business as a full-time elementary school teacher with a full-time plate with other full-time jobs on the side, and I literally get busy. I understand busy to the core. I made myself completely ill with busy, and so I also do not condone being busy for the rest of your life. I understand in seasons and in pockets of time, it is absolutely necessary in order to make some sacrifices for the long-term benefit, right? But I also don't think that we should just live in a state of busy and not have some sort of prioritize of the things that are truly guiding us towards where we're going to go. I want to give you guys some tips with that, though, from my personal trenches. Also, we're going to talk about how to create self-care rituals and routines, because that's the foundation not only of your business, but just your overall existence, right? If mom ain't happy, nobody's happy, right? And so self-care rituals and routines that are going to allow you to thrive this fall, as well as creating biz rituals and routines that will also allow you to thrive, okay? No one told me, you guys, how to make this a priority, how to make Beachbody a priority, how to make this business a priority. When I started this business, no one sat me down and said, Brittany, this is how you make being a coach a priority. No one ever did that. No one told me what routine would work for me. I had to figure it out, and it was a lot of trial and error. So I want you to understand that I'm giving you a lot of nuggets tonight and a lot of tips, but you also have to be your own little scientist and make the experiments happen in your own life and in your own journey, because I will have tips and I will have ideas, but ultimately your routine is what works for you in your life, in your season, with your job and your roles and all the hats that you wear. So I'm going to encourage you and empower you tonight to also work to figure it out. I don't want you to feel like you're alone in this journey to figure it out, because I kind of was alone in this journey figuring it out in my path. But I don't want you to feel alone in it, but I also want you to feel empowered that you have the power to figure this out and make this a priority for you. So a couple tips from my trenches that I can pass along to you guys. First of all, this business, your health, your self-care, it's like a relationship. Okay, if you're not working at it like your marriage, it's going to fail. if I don't work at being an exceptional wife, and that's something, you guys, that I write down when I write down, like, what do I aspire to be, or what do I want in life? Like, an exceptional wife is always one of the first things I jot down. And that takes work. That takes me having to think, how can I be better as a wife today than I was yesterday? What did I do yesterday that maybe wasn't the kindest thing? Like, how can I practice maybe a little bit more patience? Things like that. And the same thing applies in this business. If you just throw it to the wind and say, well, I'm going to focus on this right now, and hopefully I'll come back to this in a week or a month and it'll still be there. I'm sorry, my friends, but if you don't work at it, it's going to fail. And allowing it to just sit stagnant, it really, in the world we live in, when something sits, it's not actually just sitting there and failing, it's falling behind, right? Because we move at such a fast-paced society now that if you're not moving forward inch by inch, you're no longer just standing still, you're actually falling back. In this as well, you guys, you've got to cultivate a habit of discipline. And I know if you're on this call right now and you're on this team with us, I know you have it in you to create discipline in ways that other people in their lives might not be able to do right now. Okay? We have a lot of challengers who struggle with the discipline of waking up at a certain time and pressing play and working out. And if you've made it this far in your journey that you are now a coach on Inspire Beauty, and you're even sitting on one of our nightly Zooms, our Monday night Zooms, man, you have discipline in your bones. So I know you can do it, but it comes down to you cultivating that habit of discipline. Okay? It's not based on skill or talent or likes on social media or this or that. Guys, that's the best part about this coaching opportunity and what we do. It's not based on any sort of skill or talent. It literally is who's the person that's going to be the most disciplined and the most consistent, right? Another tip that I wish I probably would have done way back when was get an accountability partner to help keep you focused and on track. Somebody that you can share ideas with, somebody that you can share the load with and say, hey, let's run a challenge group together, or hey, let's bounce ideas off each other, or hey, let's run a power hour together so that I can make sure I send out my invites today. Whatever it may be, an accountability partner is where it's at. Guys, this Zoom link that I have right now, if you don't know already, it's a free link. It's a free thing you can do through zoom.us. And so that's what I use for power hours. I use this link is my personal link that I use for power hours. I use it for our team Zooms. I use it for our leadership Zooms. I use it for our coffee chats. The other weekend when we did our virtual, the Big Sweat, use the link for that. And you are able to create a free account as well. Okay, it's a 40-minute account whenever you do the free one. And so think about doing that. Consider getting yourself a Zoom link so that you and an accountability partner could run personal power hours together, or even workouts. If you're like, man, I don't think I can get my 5 a.m. workout in before I get to work. This is really a struggle for me. Maybe you create a group of Inspire Beauty coaches and even challengers too that are held accountable that at 5 a.m. in the morning, we're going to pop on a Zoom and do our workout together, right? Just a side note too, P.S., your upline coach is not your accountability partner. That person is there to mentor you and to help you grow as a business owner, grow in your self-care, grow in just overall like the potential you have within you. They're not the person to ask to be your accountability partner. That should be one of your like level playing field peers, not your upline coach, because that relationship gets blurred when you're just leaning on them only for accountability rather than to mentor and guide you, right? So keep that in mind. One of the other things that I was like a boss at when I was a teacher was prepping the evening before. My meals would be ready. I loved leftovers for lunch when I was a teacher. I would make my meal at night and I'd make double so that I'd have leftovers for lunch the next day, and it was in a little Tupperware. I'd already have my little lunch bag packed. I didn't have to worry about what was I eating for lunch. What was I having for breakfast? Hashtag Shakeology, right? Like I already knew what I was having. My clothes, you guys, I literally wore all the outfits. I got up and I wore what I was wearing to be Miss McMillan. Then I changed into my workout clothes after school. Then I would change into my rehearsal clothes. Then I would get home and I would change into like my nighttime clothes. You guys, laundry up my freaking ears, like for real. But what I would do is I had a duffel bag and I'd make sure all my clothes for the day, like I need like 10 different pairs of shoes, like I could Miss McMillan shoes, workout shoes, flip-flops, like whatever. All the things were in my bag, little deodorant, okay? And I packed that the night before. Maybe you lay out all of your workout stuff. You lay out your Energize is ready to go in the kitchen, and your weights are already left out, or your tracker is already out, so that you know exactly what you're pressing play on the night before. I also love I create what I call a to-do or a today list. Rather than a to-do list, I do a today list. Like, these are the things I want to do today, right? And on that list, I'll get to it in a little bit. But when I do that list, like anything from today, and today was a pretty awesome day. I crossed everything off, like pat on my own back because I'm pretty proud of that. But that's not every day. There are times like this weekend, there were some things I didn't cross off. And so when I look at those things the evening before, maybe I can put those onto tomorrow's today list of things that I want to get accomplished, right? It's also important to stay connected. It's really easy when we start. It's that like whole relationship thing. If you don't work at it, it's going to fail. If you don't stay connected to your upline, to your team, to your community, to your challengers, if you don't stay connected, you guys, it's so easy to just drift off into the back corner. I put a post on Inspire Beauty the other day that was talking specifically to the person that thinks that they're hiding. And that's none of you, because you're not hiding right now. You're here on a camera and present on a Zoom. But I see everyone. Like, I'm like that mom with the eyes in the back of her head. Like, don't think you can hide from me. You cannot hide from me. I know exactly how many people are on our team page at all times. So if somebody leaves our team page, I know you've left our team page. Like, I know, like right now there are 60 people. If after the Zoom I went on and there were 59 people, lo and behold, I would figure out who that one person was and I would hunt them down and say, what's going on, sister? Like, talk to me, right? Because I've seen it time and time again that when people get frustrated or when life gets hard or when we feel like we're failing or we're just not measuring up to what goals we set and we feel like we're just filled with overwhelm, it's really easy to retreat back. But what I've learned is sticking with and leaning on your community in those times, so important. It's also important to remember, you guys, that there's times when you can take a break. Look at the trends on social media. Like, look at your personal social media. I know, like, Friday evening, no one's on social media looking at what I'm doing. I'm not going to put a join my challenge group post up on a Friday night. Who's on Instagram on Friday night? They're not. They're actually doing things, right? We typically go on social media, if we get in the minds of people, to escape, right? People are escaping their lives when they go on social media. So when do people want to escape the most? On a Sunday night before they have to go back to work. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. By Thursday evening, it starts to drift off a little bit. You start to see people not as plugged into social media. And so look at those trends on your personal social media and know that you can take a break. It doesn't have to be like all the stuff all the time, right? My stories on the weekend on Instagram, far fewer than my stories weekdays, right? Especially like Sunday evening through, like I said, about Thursday morning. And then I kind of let down a little bit. And I make a ritual out of rest and planning as well, you guys. If you don't give yourself proper rest, none of this stuff is going to function. And if you don't allow yourself space to plan your meals, plan your week, plan, when you're going to work your business, plan all these things. If you don't give yourself that space to do that, you're just going to be flying by the seat of your pants. And I've tried that before, you guys. And it kind of works, but it's just not, it doesn't work as well, trust. And you're a lot more tired when you do that. So let's get into some self-care rituals. I want to give you guys a sneak at my personal ritual now of self-care. Okay. And this kind of stops at about 9 a.m. right here when I get into my work day. And then I do my Beachbody work, like for the rest of the day. And we'll talk a little bit about that. But when you look at my self-care ritual in a second of in the past, when I was a teacher, you're going to see that a lot of my business behaviors were intertwined within the entire day because it had to be like that. Okay, so right now, this is literally the ritual and routine I have cultivated and created that I do every day without failure. Okay, the alarm goes off at 6 a.m. I tell myself, I'm up. If you haven't read the 5-second rule, it is so good because it talks about like our brains, like if we give ourselves more than 5 seconds to think about something, we start giving ourselves every single excuse or every single reason why we can't. So when you lay there and you're like, oh, I don't know if I should get up yet. I'm so tired. Done. It's over. No, when the alarm goes off, you have to say, I'm up. I'm willing to do what others will not in order to have what others only wish they had. I tell myself that. When I get into the bathroom, I get dressed. I always lay out my workout clothes the night before in my bathroom. So I go in there, get dressed, I brush my teeth, and I put my contacts in. And guys, because I put contacts in, I don't know if anyone else is a contact wearer, but I'm forced to look myself in the eye on a daily basis, which honestly, most people I don't think look themselves in the eye very often or like actually like talk to themselves in a sense and pep themselves up. But this is my chance. When I put my contacts in, I look myself in the eye and I tell myself that I am willing today to do what others aren't going to do. I'm going to make sacrifices today so that down the road, a month, a year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years from now, I'm going to have what others only wish they had because I put in the work, right? Does that mean I kill myself every single day? Absolutely not, you guys. I'm going through some pretty personal things right now as I'm tapering off depression medication. And today I gave myself the gift of probably a 4-hour nap because I had to. So I don't want you to read this stuff and be like, man, she's like a workhorse. No, I just know that if I can get through my to-do list and I can get through this ritual and I can do the things that are most important in my business and in my self-care, that yes, a month, a year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years down the road, I will have what others wish they had, right? So after I get dressed, brush my teeth, contacts are in, you guys, like at that point, I'm up, right? Like just go do it, seriously. Then it's time for devotion, prayer. I create a today list because the second I wake up, I don't know if you're like me, but my mind is already like a million miles a minute, right? And I've got like, oh my God, I got to do this. And oh, I want to do this. And I want to do this. And I want to plug into social media and like tell the team this. And I want to go check my email and say this to this person. And I want to like text this person this. But like, if I start my day in that kind of chaos, the whole day is going to be like that, just all over the place. And so I've had to force myself to grab my tracking binder, which these are just our normal trackers that we have, you guys, for Inspire Beauty, which are available on the team page and the resource page. But I just grabbed my tracker and I spiraled it at FedEx Kinko's for like nothing, like $10. But I start writing down things that are on my mind, right? Things I want to get done. Some of those things are just random things. Some of those things are really big things, right? And then personal development. Typically, I listen to a podcast. I like to do my reading at night. That's just me. But my personal development in the morning is typically a podcast. Then it's time to take care of Frankie Man, because here's the deal. If I start my workout, he will go pee in the house and poop in the house, and it's a problem, okay? Because he thinks he's hot stuff. So we got to take care of Frankie Man right after my devotion and prayer time, and once I kind of get my mind right. Then it's unicorn juice, energize. I do my workout. I make videos while I'm working out, and I use the app Cut Story. If you've never heard of the app Cut Story, it is awesome. It looks like this. It's got like a little reel. It's called Cut Story, and that's what I use to cut my video. I'll do my longer video in time lapse so that it goes fast. And then I cut it into 15-second clips for my Instagram stories, okay? So after I'd finished my workout, like all this stuff is happening. Bam, bam, bam. It is a ritual. It's a routine. My workout, I take video while I do my workout. Once I'm doing the stretch, I already have a video in Cut Story, getting it cut so that I'm not wasting time. Then I take my picture. By this point, you guys, my mind is right. I've done a workout. I've done personal development. I've spoken with my Heavenly Father, like all these things that pump me up in the morning, you guys. I'm ready to put a post out on social media. So then I'm ready to upload my first post. You know, when you sit down, you're like, what do I even talk about today? Honestly, you probably haven't done your workout yet. You probably haven't grounded your mindset yet. And so it's so important that I do those things first before I even try to talk to anybody on social media. Okay, so I upload my first post, I upload my stories for the day, and now I go into wife mode. I make breakfast, I prep Charles to leave the house, like get his lunch all set or whatever he needs, and then I'm ready for work. And then once he leaves, I get ready, and I'm ready for work by 9 a.m. So I have a 3-hour window in the morning. That's me right now. That's not a gift that everybody can have, but I will show you what it was like before. So my alarm still went off at 6 a.m. Same thing, I'm up. I still wanted to be willing to do what others would not throughout the day in order to have what others only wish they had, right? And I went right into the shower. When I showered, I played personal development as I was in the shower so that I could listen to something positive and get my mind ready. Then I'd get ready for work, okay? I'd make my shake. I would create my morning posts. I would check in with my challengers and my team, and I would send follow-up messages to I'd clean out my inbox from the night before. Yeah, that was what I did pretty much every morning. I didn't do my morning workouts because at that time in my schedule, I'll show you where it fit better for me, okay? My meals were already prepped and ready to grab. Remember, I told you I was a master at getting my lunch bag ready the night before, and I'd be out the door. I had to be out the door to get to work by 7:15 a.m. So I had an hour 15, but in that hour 15, I still got my mind right. I still made, I was a proof of the product, making my Shakeology and getting out my morning post, checking in with my challengers and my team, making sure my people who've invested and said yes to me are taken care of, and cleaned out my inbox. All those things before 7:15. Drive to work. And while I was driving to work, I'd listen to a national wake-up call, or I'd listen to a coach training. I'd get my mind trained so that I had creative wheels turning of like, oh, I could do this for my challenge group, or oh, I never knew about that, or oh, I didn't know what Emerald was, now I do. So I would teach myself. That was my university, was my drive to work, okay? During my lunch break, you guys, I'd send out invites and any new messages. At 3:20 p.m. is when teachers were off contract. I love this. This is great. Especially for any teachers who are listening to this, because we love to just work beyond like when we're contracted to work. But the reality is, you guys, y'all aren't getting paid after 3:20 or whatever your school district does. And y'all don't have to work after that. You don't have to do it. And I know that you're like, but Brittany, there's stuff I got to do. I've got to grade this. I've got to do that. I've got to do. And I get that. Absolutely do. I get that you will work beyond like the hours mandated. But I said at 3:20, when I'm no longer Miss McMillan, I am clocking out. I am changing into my workout. And at that time, no unicorn juice, you guys. It didn't exist. We had something called E&E, and it sucked. It was not good. So glad unicorn juice, Energize, if you will, exists, because we didn't have anything at that time, and the stuff that we did have was no bueno. But I did my workout in my classroom, or there was a park across the street that I would often go to, and I'd do my workout there, or I would go for a run over at the park oftentimes. You guys, this was before Beachbody On Demand. So what did Miss McMillan do? What did Brittany do? What did I put in that duffel bag? You guys, I put my big old dinosaur laptop with my big old DVD set and my, like, hello, I made it work, you guys. I didn't even have, there was no app for that. Like, I made that work. I want you to see that. I want you to understand, like, what I did to make that work. And so I did my workout, and that was like that cleared my mind, you guys. After a big long school day like that, when you're all stressed out and everything, I was able to just like breathe. So my workout in that little pocket of time was perfect for me. I would change right away, get out of the classroom or in the classroom, do my workout, and then I'd craft my midday post. Okay. Then I would drive to rehearsal because I didn't have time to go home. That's why that pocket worked for me. I didn't have enough time to go home, but I had too much time to drive right to my rehearsals. So instead I would do my workout. As I drove to rehearsals, you guys, I do one-on-one calls with my coaches, maybe somebody that needs to get on the phone and talk about a challenge group. That's when I got on the phone, was while I was driving, connected to my car as I drove. When I got to rehearsal, I would answer messages when we were on breaks. That's just what I did. Like the kids took a water break, I answered messages. When I drove home, I would hop on team calls and team trainings. And Elizabeth posted today on the team page that she was falling asleep on the way home. And I get her on like a soul deep level right now. Guys, I would fall asleep on Zooms with my upline. Like what you're doing right now, like imagine Brittany in the video, like sleeping. Because I was so tired. Like I get it. But I was willing to do what others were not in order to have what others wanted, right? So you got to just think about that. Think about the sacrifice. What you do and practice, you guys, is what you become. So if you're going to practice hitting snooze every day, you're going to become a person that hits snooze and doesn't get up when your alarm goes off. If you practice missing your morning workout every day and scrambling to get out the door in the morning, you will become a person who scrambles in the morning and is chaotic in the morning. If you become and practice a person who is disciplined and planned out and thoughtful and not perfect, guys, none of this is perfect. But if you can at least attempt to have a plan and a method and a routine and cultivate that and have the discipline behind that, you will become that. If you don't feel you in the morning, you guys, if you don't start with that self-care habit, it's going to be impossible for you to fill up others throughout the day, okay? So let's transition really quick to business rituals. In my very first summit that I attended for Beachbody, and if you don't know what Summit is, it's an annual conference we go to. This next year, it'll be in July in Indianapolis. Kristen just bought her ticket today. Woo, woo. So excited. So really exciting, you guys. But at Summit, they always have really amazing guest speakers. And Diana Nyad, she is the woman, if you don't know her, she is the woman who swam from Cuba to Key West and holds the world record for doing that. without like stopping, without all that good stuff, right? And she spoke to us at Summit. And one of the things that I took away from her, and guys, this was like going on 5 years ago now. I'll never forget, she said, I couldn't have done it a fingernail more. When she finished that last stroke of swimming to get to Key West, she couldn't have done it a fingernail more. Now think about that, you guys, like how tiny a fingernail is. Like, but that's what she gave. She gave her all. So at the end of the night with your business, you guys, when you go to close that laptop or turn that phone off and power down, or close your planner and your tracker, I want you to look at your list from the day. I want you to look at the conversations you've had. Could you have done just a little bit more? And if the answer is yes, you guys, dig deep and do it. Make the sacrifice and do it. Today, I was like, when we're done with the Zoom, I want to eat my dinner and I want to watch Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy because I love it. And so I was like, I am getting my to-do list done. Like, so when I get off this Zoom, I'm already looking down at my planner from today. And you know what? I couldn't have done it a fingernail more today. I am proud of the work that I put in today. And I want you guys to have that same feeling each and every day. Now, do I feel like that every day? Absolutely not. But this is a great gut check quote for you, okay? So a couple tips with your biz ritual. Again, start with a to-do list. Do not wing it. Work from a list. I love putting a little heart next to the top 3 most important things on my list today. So I'll read you what my list had on it today. It's already crossed off, so it might take me a second. I wanted, I need to do Zoom prep, National Wake Up Call. There was a Zoom at 6 p.m., which I am currently crossing off. Expanding my network, connecting with people, inviting people, because I am currently not at Success Club in my business center, and so that's important. This is really hard to read under here. Oh, I wanted to do my story announcement for my upcoming challenge group for the fall season, and I was working on my September calendar and making sure I got that out to our Rising Stars page. And then, of course, I've got like my challenge group check-in, my team check-in, my personal development, workout, Shakeology, all that good stuff, right? I've got the 4 vitals. And everything's checked off, you guys. But next to Zoom prep, next to inviting, and next to my September calendar were where I put my hearts. So those are the things I did first today. Everything else came after that, okay? Because those were the most important. I had to make sure this was prepped for you guys. I had to make sure I got my invites out today. And I had to make sure that my September calendar was rocking and rolling so that our leaders can start cultivating what they're going to do in the following months going into the fall. And so I encourage you to brain dump like everything and anything, but don't hold yourself to like, oh my gosh, I have to get everything done. No, put a heart next to those top 3 so that when you sit down at night, let's say I didn't get everything done. Let's say I didn't expand my network today, but, and I'm just drained. I'm done. I'm ready to close shop. But I saw that I got the 3 most important things done today. Well, I can rest easy. I can say I couldn't have done it a fingernail more because I got done what I needed and had to get done, right? And so hold yourself with a little bit of grace in that way too, that you don't have to get, just because it comes out of your head onto paper that you want to do it, doesn't mean you have to do it, okay? Start finding those most important behaviors that are going to push you forward towards your goals this week and throughout the month, right? Find pockets of time in your business, you guys. Lunch breaks. While you're driving, those are great times to listen to replays of things or national wake-up calls or any sort of training to grow in your coaching just knowledge base. Breaks at rehearsal. I know there's a lot of people who do different forms of like coaching and whatnot. If you have a break, that's a great pocket of time to just like bust out an invite and then you put your phone down. You don't even have to worry about it, right? Working off of a tracker, you guys, so that you don't miss things that move your business forward. I just showed you this. I bound together a tracker and every day I work off of this. That's what top successful coaches do. They do not wing it, okay? Work off of a timer, you guys. I find myself, I have a good like game I play with myself now that when I get on Instagram or I get on Facebook, if I catch myself scrolling, I get off. And I catch myself pretty quickly now. But I have been one to get lost in the scroll, if you will. So working off of a timer is really great for me. Okay, I'm going to set the timer for 10 minutes and I'm going to spend 10 minutes searching for new friends on social media. Okay, I'm going to set the timer for 10 minutes. I'm going to craft as many posts as I can for the day in 10 minutes. You know, work off that timer. Again, it's like a relationship, you guys. If you don't work at it, it will fail and crumble. And you have to do that gut check. Is it truly a priority for you? If it is, make it a priority. Make it so. Look at the mission of what you're doing. Okay, at the core of it all, we've all got our own personal mission of why we're here in Inspire Beauty, why you're a coach, why you said yes. We all have it. And maybe you're just at the surface level of what your mission is right now, and that's okay. You will slowly start to peel those layers back and understand what you're here for and what this mission is all about personally for you, okay? And ask yourself, is it worth the sacrifice to go for that mission? And for me, every day, absolutely yes. I'm at a place where like, I can't quit this because my mission is just so important. I can't go a day without being a part of my business because it's so worth it. That doesn't mean, again, that I don't unplug and that I don't give myself rest and whatnot. Absolutely, I do. But I make the sacrifices because the mission is so important to me. So here's your homework tonight, you guys. When we get off this call, I don't want you to go do like monumental things. All I want you to do is prep for the morning. I want you to ask yourself, what do you want to accomplish tomorrow that others in this business may not be willing to do? There are over almost 500,000 coaches in the Beachbody Network. What is something you're going to accomplish tomorrow that not every 500,000 coach is going to be willing to wake up and say yes to do? Remember, you guys, top 3 things, right? So it doesn't have to be, again, when you prep for the AM and you're like, I want to do this and this and this and this and this, and you create a list, top 3. Don't give yourself more than you can handle. Don't set yourself up for failure, right? We oftentimes do that to ourselves, and it's like, why do we even do that? Top 3 things tomorrow that are going to move the needle forward for you. Put the heart next to them. Put them on paper. Make a note tonight of what you're going to do tomorrow. If prepping for the AM right now is, getting your workout clothes out and getting all that stuff set, go do it. Maybe it's you need to get your meals prepped for lunch tomorrow, whatever that is, right? But make the sacrifice now, you guys, because I promise that you will reap the benefits later when you do that, okay? So that, my friends, that is it here. I'm going to stop our share, come back and see nothing in the chat. Oh my gosh, we have so many friends. Lindsay, what? Look at everybody. Mary made it. My heart. I am like super duper emotional lately, guys. I can cry at anything. I was playing Catan. If you don't know what Catan is, it's a super nerdy game. But I was playing Catan with, thank you, Lindsay, for nodding. I was playing Catan with some friends this weekend, and I cried in the middle of Catan because they were strategizing against me. Like, that's how like serious my emotions are. So I almost just started crying all over this screen because of all of your faces. Any questions for me? Anything you want to chat through? Anything you're like, I need advice on this, or how do you do this, Britt, or how did you?
What time do you go to bed?
Say that again.
Did you hear me? What time do you go to bed?
So now I go to bed. I'm not a night owl. I know my magic number, and it's 8 hours of sleep. So I need 8 hours. So I go to bed at 10. I have an alarm on my phone that goes off at 9 that tells me to put it down, like put down technology and start winding down. And so from 9 to 10 is usually when I start prepping for the next morning and, clean up the house and do all that good stuff.
Nice. I would like to be a morning person, but I end up always pushing to being a late night person, and I can't be both because my number is also 8 hours. So I'm going to work towards getting to bed early.
And you have to also understand that that's okay. Like if it looks like shifted or flipped, like that's you. Right? Like I've learned over time, I'm just not a night owl. I am a morning person, so it works for me. But that self-care ritual doesn't mean you have to set your alarm for 6 a.m., right? Mm-hmm. As long as when you shut down for the night, you know that you couldn't have done a fingernail more, right?
Yeah.
Miriam says, good personal development podcast. Dang, girl, I got so many. Let me just, instead of like typing, let me open up my thing. And people, you guys can type some of your favorites in because I'm sure you know some. My favorite. Yelling at me. My fave one that scared me is quote of the day show, Miriam, because it's so fast. They're super fast. And those are like, that's the one when I say like I do my devotion and I do this and this and that. That's the one that I listen to before my workout because I like Yay, I feel like really good about the day. So it's called The Quote of the Day Show. I'm actually going to release a new podcast to you guys. It's not new, but new to me, called Being Boss, because I recently bought a book that's based off this podcast that I really want to theme September off of in our team. So Being Boss, I'm going to start giving us some of those to listen to. Rachel Hollis has her podcast. It's called The Rise Podcast. There's so many. Those are like my top. Let me see if there's anything else I might have missed. See, I'm a quick podcast person. Like if you're talking an hour podcast, I'm done with you. And I love Trish Blackwell. She has the Confidence podcast, but they're just too long for me. So I want it to be, I like them to be quicker. And then my favorite one for business, for Beachbody business, is Women Inspiring Women. The top coach in Beachbody, she's been the top coach for 4 years now. Her name's Melanie Mitro. She's the one who hosts that podcast, Women Inspiring Women.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Any other questions, guys? I want to snap a pic before we get out of time, so fix your faces.
Oh my God, my eyes just started watering like crazy. But I'll smile.
Fix the face, fix the hair. Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1. Yay. Okay, any other questions? I love you, ladies. Thank you for being on tonight. I appreciate you all so much. Any other questions, bring them to the team page. Go make that list for tomorrow, and I can't wait to see how you rock out your Tuesdays.